Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hello friends, welcome to episode 194, which is pretty crazy, of the weekly Blood Angels show. I've been busy doing Blood Angels today. It's on its flight stand. Prepare for incoming fire air support or something. I don't know. The flight stand broke. It's been fixed. We're good to go. So I'm ditching all conventional methods, all conventional weapons for this week, and breaking out the Storm Raven. So, good evening, anyone. How are you all? We've got like 8 different army lists to look over tonight, something like that. It's usually how many we do on the show. I can't even fit the Storm Raven in front of my monitor. Hold on one sec, let me get it off the table. Cool. Are we doing something special for episode 200? Yes, we're going to get 200 super chats. No, I don't know, man. I think it's bonkers that we've got to 200 episodes. Maybe that'll be the episode where we do the conversion. That would be cool, actually. I'm going to announce a conversion competition, excuse me. So maybe we'll aim to do that for the 200th show. Because the raffle is all done and there's some leftover prizes. So maybe we'll do that for the 200th episode. So tune in for that, whenever that may be, in like 6 weeks' time. So it's probably going to be middle of July, something like that. Alright, if you want to get your list on the Army List show, there's 2 ways you can do it. One is you can DM it to me via Discord, Patreon. The other way you can do it is put it in the comment section when this video ends. So you just put your list into the comment section. Your list will look something like this. If you want to get your list reviewed quickly, i.e. on next week's show, become a channel member. It costs like $4 a month, the same sort of cost as a cup of coffee. I do really appreciate it. You know, supporting the channel is awesome. It helps me do this as a thing that I love, so thank you for that. If otherwise, you could just leave your list even if you're not a channel member, and you will get reviewed. You just won't get reviewed in a week's time because channel members get priority. So simple as that. Let's get into tonight's first Army List show, or Army List. And I do have a couple of different videos planned for this week as well. One of which is definitely going to be the Liberator Assault versus Angelic Inheritors, because that's what I played at a tournament, and I spent this afternoon getting my my little tournament list, like a little photo of it for the video. So yeah, I've got you know, a couple of videos planned this week. Cool. But good evening, everyone. VT, hello. Ben Wright, hello. Phil, Jason, Bloodlines, Quay, nice to see you all. Ridgecraft, Jack. Yeah, and if you enjoyed tonight's stream at any point, please hit the like button. Do also appreciate that. So, Jeff Sherwood, first list tonight. He is playing Weekend Warriors. It's Liberator Assault Group. So Jeff has that 45-point Blade Guard Ancient. I actually think this is a great character. Like, you can attach him to the Blade Guard, but he can just be an action monkey. He's pretty good for that. He's got 4-up invuln save. Pretty cool. You've got the captain with jump back. Relic Shield Thunderhammer. You've got Commander Dante. So hold on, this captain with the Relic Shield Thunderhammer is probably leading Blade Guard. You've got Judicaire and you've got Tet Marine. 10 Assault Intercessors with the jump packs. Ballistus Dreadnought. 6 Blade Guard, 3 Blade Guard, Infiltrators, Outriders, Sanguinary Guard, and 2 small 3-man squads. Scouts, Terminator squads, the classic double Vindicator. Okay. I actually played Land Raider versus Land Raider. My opponent had a Redeemer, I had a Land Raider. Crazy game, actually. Okay. So, 9 Blade Guard, 6 Sanguinary Guard, Dante and 1 jump pack character. I don't know if I feel Speed of the Primarch is going to be all that impactful with just 3 Sanguinary Guard attached to the character. But I guess if you've got points left at the end of the list, so be it. A Tech Marine. I guess with double Vindicator, a Tech Marine can always be useful. One of the Vindicators dies. They buff to like 7 attacks. 8 attacks on the charge with Liberator Assault Group. I guess it's not too bad. Probably fight first Blade Guard, and then like potential Blade Guard with a character. I wish he'd told us how you splitting the Blade Guard here, because I guess he's got the Captain. Oh no, the Captain, Speed of the Primarch. Alright, so one Blade Guard's probably attached to the Ancient, one Blade Guard will be attached to the Judicar. I think you would have attached the 6 to the Judicar. So, small unit fight first Sangre Guard, small unit fight first Blade Guard, a Ballistus Dreadnought, 2 Vindicator tanks, Infiltrators, Outriders, Scouts, Terminators as well, with some Chain Fists and Power Fists. I think it's okay. There's not too much that needs changed here, honestly. Personally, I think I'm off double Vindicator tank. Wouldn't you be with 10 jump pack intercessors? Here's the thing. I don't think attaching fight first to jump pack intercessors is meaningful, right? Because you are only strength 4. So if you fight first into anything higher than strength 4, your wound rolls are so bad that you're not going to do any sort of meaningful damage, right? Jump pack intercessors don't really do meaningful damage anyway. They do it from their mortal wounds on the charge. So I don't know if I think, like, I've seen a few people do, like, fight first on assault intercessors. I'm not interested. I've seen a few people do fight first on yeah, it's usually assault so some people do it on assault intercessors, which are arguably better because they get to reroll wounds, potentially. But I just don't think that's a meaningful... Like, if you're going to do fight first, I think it has to be Sangre Guard or Blade Guard. Or Terminators. I think Terminators are probably the best for fight first. Just because their innate strength is much higher. But, Quaydog says, over here I'm like 3 Vindicators sounds good. Yeah, I mean, 3 Vindicators probably builds in some reliability, because you can... Like, in the tournament I was just at, you roll a 1 for one Vindicator's number of shots, the other Vindicator you roll a 1 or a 2 for, and all of a sudden it's very underwhelming. Vindicators just, like, they're so swingy, right? Like, if they pop off when you need them, like, they either obliterate the enemy or they do nothing. And it feels like there is no in between. So, like, I had 2 games in my tournament where they just obliterated everything, and, like, honestly, like, turn 1 or 2, I'm like, I've already won this game, because both Vindicators have just obliterated everything. And then, like, the next game, the Vindicator did nothing, and I couldn't kill a certain army, or I couldn't deal with certain threats, because the Vindicators weren't popping off. So I just don't really like Vindicator tanks. How about a Lancer? Well, a Lancer is good against armor, but it really comes undone if you're playing against Custodes, for example, because you're literally going to kill one model. And that's the thing, in my game against Custodes, my Vindicator tank went to town and, like, blew away a, like, 400 point unit of Custodes. It killed the whole damn thing. It was like, the guy had to take, like, 13 AP3 saves. He looked at me and he was like, how many AP3 saves? And I was like, yeah, 13, dude. You know, like, 13 d6 damage. That's what you got coming at you. Sustained hits plus blast is good, I guess, right? So yeah, I mean, this is a fine Liberator Assault list. I guess if you start with 2 Vindicator tanks, you've got a few killy units in the Terminators, the Sangre Guard, you got the Outriders for some early pressure, you've got 9 units of, or 9 Blade Guard, you've got Jump Assault Intercessors, you can do some Strategic Reserves. I might even unlead the Ancient so he can just, like, be an action monkey. You've got unit scouts, you've got infiltrators. This is a good... This list here is absolutely fine. This is a good Liberator Assault Group list. It probably actually is better than some of the other Liberator Assault Group lists, because ironically it doesn't take too many units from the Blood Angels Codex. And we know that the units in the Blood Angels Codex are not super great and are not super meta at the moment. So it's probably actually top... Like, this is probably a top Liberator Assault Group list because it doesn't have too many of the units outside of the Blood Angels book. How depressing is that? But that is the truth. Alright, that's a cool list. I don't think there's much to change there at all. Sealpilled is the next list. He says, he's playing Angelic Inheritors. I just love Sangre Guard characters. I know there's them in different units, but I feel like going to turn... I feel like I'm going to turn 2 this list is pretty brutal. Let me know what you think. I've chosen stuff that I think is awesome, hence Terminators, Sanguinor, and Mephiston 2. Also, I presume the Chaplain can use the Crozius and Power Fist. So if a Chaplain's equipped with the Crozius and Power Fist, when you start combat, you choose which weapon you want to use. Usually, you probably use the Power Fist because of the AP2, but I guess in the extra strength, but occasionally, I guess one more attack from the Crozius would be better. Why don't people take MSU Death Company Jump Pack anymore with Chaplains? Because I think by the time you attach the Chaplain, They're quite expensive, right? Like 200 plus points, maybe 215 or something. And they actually don't kill all that much, right? Because you get like, what? Be like 8 Power Fists attacks, 4 Eviscerator attacks, and like 8 Chainswords. I mean, it's for 230 points. Yeah, like, ironically, you could just take like 15 Jump Intercessors, and they're probably going to outdamage the Death Company. And they're going to have OC as well, right? The second the chaplain gets taken out, and certain armies will just precision him out straight away, then you've got no OC. Yeah, I mean, I just think because Jump Intercessor is a 10-man unit for 160, if they throw grenades when they charge, they're potentially doing somewhere like 8 mortals. Yeah. If you just get averages, 8 mortals, the Death Company got to do a lot of work to do 8 damage, right? 200 U points is not a trading priest as well. Yeah, very true. Alex coming in with a $10 super chat. Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Here you go, friend. This will help you get 18 Blade Guard like the rest of us. Dude, I was talking about it on last night's stream. I was like, I think 18 Blade Guard is probably the new strong way to play Liberator Assault Group. It's won 2 tournaments in the last couple of weeks. Blade Guard at 160 points. You can actually, like, I was thinking about this as well, right? Because the thing is, like, if say you want to take 6 Sangre Guard, and you probably, like, in your brain, or at least when I'm putting Sangre Guard in a list, I'm usually like, oh, well, Sangre Guard need to have a character attached, right? Because if the character's attached, then they get that -1 to hit and wound, and that makes them somewhat survivable-ish. But the second you do that, you attach the character, you're talking 350 points, right? The cheapest you can do that is like 260 plus 85. That's like 345, right? Yeah, so 345 for 30 Sangre Guard attacks. If you think about it, 5 guys Liberators, or 6 guys Liberator Assault Group, 5 guys per guy, 5 attacks per guy. Whereas like with the Blade Guard, you just go, fuck it, I'm not going to lead them. They're just going to be unled, and I'll do the same as these guys for 160 points, right? I'll just get the same 30 attacks. I'll actually hit more often because Blade Guard get an innate ability to reroll 1s to hit. So I actually hit more often than these guys. I'm 1 less strength, but then 1 less strength I think is completely irrelevant because most of the time you're going to pay for lethal hits or lance, because strength 7 and strength 8 are both going to need lethal hits and or lance if you're going into tough to deal with targets. So you're basically telling me, like, what's 345 divided by 160, or vice versa, you know, 160 divided by 345. So you're saying that, like, for 46% of the points, Blade Guard are kind of just as good as Sangre Guard for 46% of the points. So yeah, like, if you start every Blood Angels list at the moment, just putting in 18 Blade Guard for 480 points in Liberator Assault Group, that's a crap load of damage to attacks, right? If all 3 of those units make a charge, that is 90 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s. Like, what is the potential damage output of that, right? 90 attacks, hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s is 0.77. So basically make like 70 AP2 2 damage hits. Like, you would be over 1,000 points to do that with Sangre Guard, maybe even 1,200 points, right? 3, 4, 5 times 3? Yeah, maybe not 1,200, but like 3, 4, 5 times 3 is like 1,050. Yeah? So on one side, you've got the Blade Guard at like 480, doing this batshit amount of damage, and then you've got the Sangre Guard. Yes, they get to move 6 inches more, but like, even if you put all of these guys in 3 impulsors to get, you know, additional movement on the battlefield, you're still going to be like 300 points less. And you can do janky things with impulsors. They can score actions, you know, engage on all fronts. Yeah. Blade Guard have the transport taxes, Jack. Yeah, but even if we add the transport tax, they're still about 30% cheaper, right? And then you've got 3 transports, all with like, what, 11 wounds, toughness 9, all just sitting on 3 different objectives or in 3 sections of the map, just scoring points, doing actions every turn, being annoying. Yeah, they've only got bolters, but they can tank shock, you know? And something else could jump in them if they're low. You know, I quite like the fact that you get that reactive move with the captain, And if the reactive move finishes you within 3 inches of the impulsor, you can actually jump inside it as well, because a reactive move counts as a normal move, right? My regular opponents hate impulsors. Well, yeah, I've got 4 impulsors, and I was kind of thinking that maybe I should just run 4, and it'd be a bit stupid. Anyway, Seal Pilled, next list. Captain on jump pack with the blazing icon. Captain with a jump pack with the troubling visions. I don't really rate the troubling visions enhancement. I think it's probably the worst one. Chaplain in Terminator armor. Chaplain with a jump pack. Mephisto and Dante Sanguinar. You know, Mephisto and Dante Sanguinar, having played them, like I literally just played against this exact, like my opponent in this weekend had all 3 of those characters. I think it's too many points to put all 3 of those characters on the board at the same time in the same list. Like, they are all super expensive for what they bring, right? Like, the Sanguinar is a toughness 4 guy with 7 wounds. Yes, he is fight first, but you're really relying on, like, there's certain armies where his fight first is not that meaningful. Mephiston, again, sure, he's toughness 5 with, like, 6 wounds. Maybe it's slightly better. But he doesn't actually ever do any damage. Like, my opponent rolled Mephiston against me, and he killed, like, 1 intercessor or something. Like, Mephiston is so unreliable. And then Dante is borderline too expensive. So, like, I don't know if I put all... like, if I was building a new Angelic Inheritors list, I would not be putting all 3 of them in that list. That is just my opinion. I think they are too many points for what they bring. Maybe you can bring one of them. Like, I did have the Sanguinar on my list for a little while. It is possible, I think, with the Sanguinar to get him to do 140 points worth of work. You know, he arrives from Deep Strike, he fights first, he kills some units, he keeps another unit alive, he jumps, does an action, kills another unit. Like, he at least, I feel like you can get good point value out of him. But you also, like, by putting all these guys in your list, you're also weakening your footprint on the board. Like, that's 400 points. And, like, I know Mephiston isn't toughness 4, but, like, it's 400 points and 3 guys that are, like, between them together, you're talking, like, 18 wounds at toughness 4. You know, or sure, Mephiston's T5, but, like, that's a lot of points for what that is, right? Assault Intercessors with jump packs. I actually don't like them in Angelic Inheritors. I don't think they're meaningful at strength 4. It is what it is. I don't run any jump pack Assault Intercessors in Angelic Inheritors, whereas when I do run Liberator Assault Group, I would start the list with, like, at least 1 squad, maybe 2. My tournament winning list had 2 squads. Sangre Guard a 6, a 3, and a 3. I also don't like playing this many Sangre Guard. I think they're too expensive for what they bring. 3, 3, and 3 was how I was enjoying playing Angelic Inheritors. I can understand why you want to go 6, right? If you're going to put a 6 in Angelic Inheritors, you probably want them to attach to the captain rather than Dante, so that they can at least get the additional point of strength, because it puts them on a more meaningful breakpoint. Strength 7. You got unit Terminators. We don't often see Terminators in Angelic Inheritors, but I guess reroll 1s to hit and wound is good. And then you've got double Vindicator Tank, which we know is the staple. Oh, I don't know why it's copied some extra stuff down here. So the issue that I have with this list, and I have a pretty serious issue with it, is it will not deal with a lot of high toughness enemies, right? Like, because I literally just had the same issue. My list also had Ballistus Dreadnought, so I'm bringing, like, a bunch more las cannons. And I had a Land Raider, bringing las cannons, melta-guns. 1 unit in your army can get lethal hits and lance. Every single melee unit you have here is going to need lethal hits and lance, right? And arguably even, like, the Sanguinar or Mephiston are also going to need lethal hits and lance. So if you're playing Angelic Inheritors, in my opinion, the reason that it worked so well for Jack at the LVO was because he had 900 points of shooting in that list. So he would shoot everything to, like, not within an inch of its life, but you would shoot everything pretty significantly and then finish them off with these small units. Because that's what these units do. They finish things off. They do not kill things on their own. And they're also not trading pieces either, because every unit is super expensive. And I don't think Jump Assault Intercessors, like I said, I don't think they're meaningful. Angelic Inheritors, Strength 4 Chainswords are not really that meaningful. So, having just been at a tournament with 2 Vindicator tanks and and a Land Raider and a Ballistus, which adds a lot more firepower, I did not feel like I had enough firepower to deal with certain enemies. And I definitely felt like these units, because they are all low strength, right? In this attachment, Sanguinary Guard are strength 6. Jump Assault Intercessors are strength 4. Because everything is low strength, your characters are low strength as well. Like Sanguinary are strength 6, I think. Mephiston is strength 9, but he's super unreliable. I personally wouldn't play a list like this. I think here's the thing, this list will slaughter some enemies, right? Like, if you come up to anything, like enemies that are toughness 5 or something, your Sanguinary Guard are slaughtering them, right? Like, you're rolling in, you're hitting on 2s, you're re-rolling 1s, you're wounding on like 2s or 3s, you're re-rolling 1s. They give you this sort of like false sense of security where like, so like my game against Custodes, I slaughtered them. And Custodes are usually quite durable in melee, but no, with all the rerolls and 1s and wound rerolls and stuff, I slaughtered the infantry Custodes. But then I came against Knights, and I'm just like, this cannot deal with Knights. I mean, a Vindicator tank can kill a Knight, you get lucky the second Vindicator tank kills a Knight, and then one of these units might be able to kill a Knight, the 6th Sanguinary Guard. But then, remember, Knights typically have a bunch of Helverns, anti-infantry 2-up, flat 3 damage. They're going to be lifting off your models like so damn quick. So yeah, he said the Chaplain, he said he had a Crozius and a Power Fist. No, I think a Terminator Chaplain can't have a Power Fist. I think he's just got the Crozius. I think everybody would take a Power Fist if he could have a Power Fist. I think a Terminator Chaplain just has a Crozius. Chaplain, Terminator armor, melee weapon. Yeah, he's just got a Crozius. I don't think he can have a... He can have a shield to get an extra wound, but I don't know if I feel his shield is all that meaningful. I mean, losing your bolter isn't all that meaningful either, to be completely honest with you. But yeah, here's for the day, Stormbolters move to 1 AP. They really need it, because at the moment they just bounce off everything. 6 Blade Guard and a Chaplain and an Impulsor is 300 points. Yeah, but I don't think every single unit of Blade Guard needs to be inside a needs to be with a... Like, I don't think every unit of Blade Guard needs to be with a Chaplain and an Impulsor. You could do one like that, then you could put another 6 on foot, right? Treat Mephiston as a double wounds. Yeah, I played against Mephiston in the tournament, Mike. I felt like he's super underwhelming. Like I said, I think maybe he killed like 1 Sanguinary Guard. You know? 140 point model to kill 1 Sanguinary Guard. Maybe? Is Bloodless Angel still best? I think taking a lot of cheap units in Liberator Assault Group is best. Whether that's Bloodless or not really doesn't matter, because it's not like you get +1 to wound for ignoring all the Blood Angel stuff, right? The guns on Impulsors chew up chaff infantry. Yeah, I mean, you get 14 shots at 12 inches. It is only strength 4 bolters, but it'll kill Aspect Warriors. It'll kill Guardsmen. Alright, Nell Cross is our next list. He is playing Liberator Assault Group. Dante, Captain in Terminator Armor. Chaplain with Fight First. Combi Weapon Lieutenant. I actually really like this Combi Weapon Lieutenant. I think he's good in both detachments. He's much more of a scoring piece than a killing piece. I don't... occasionally he does a couple of dev wounds with that combi gun, but not all that often. Alright, Assault Intercessor with the jump packs, you've got 3 units of 5. It's good. Blade Guard, you've got 6. Infiltrators, you've got a squad. You've got 1/6 of the Sand Guard. I guess they're probably with Dante, because that's all they could go with. Scouts. Terminators with that Terminator character. Outriders. Double Ballistus Dreadnought. And an Repulsor Executioner. So I guess... I actually don't know the capacity of an Executioner. I was going to say, are the Blade Guard inside the Executioner? What is the capacity of the Executioner now? Did they change it? 7. Okay, right. So the Blade Guard plus character could be inside. Okay, so Blade Guard plus Chaplain. Let's assume they're inside the Executioner. Captain with the Terminators. I think the best character actually for leading Terminators is the Chaplain. He is 20 points cheaper than the Captain. He gives them a 4-up, feel no pain against mortals, and he gives them +1 to wound all the time. I think that's much better than the Captain's like 1 CP free strat and or reroll charges, right? Like if you need to reroll charges with your Terminator squad, then you drop them in the wrong position, right? Like especially in Liberator Assault Group where you've got advance and charge, you should be dropping them in an obscure position, 9 or 10 inches away, moving within 5, and then charging. If you don't feel confident in a 5-inch charge, you can advance and charge, you know? So Nelko says, I sent this video on the 4th of May. I'm not sure the comment was highlighted for you. Here's the list. And I know it's not fully meta, but I got the Executioner fully built for half its retail value, so I wanted to try and run a list with it to see how it performs before proxying. My plan was to run the Blade Guard and Chaplain to where they need to go before retreating to work as firepower. It's most likely won't be used to score, but I figured the Outriders, Combi Lieutenant, and Scouts, and some jump pack intercessors can do that. For the Terminators, I've used the Captain and Librarian for cheap, so I figured I would try and get, before getting a Chaplain. You should just proxy the Captain as the Chaplain, dude. No one's going to care. Thank you for doing these reviews so we can all continue to learn. Yeah, I mean, just proxy them as the Chaplain. I think he's better. I guess if you're going to a tournament at some point, you're going to have to buy the Chaplain. Yeah, or I guess you could try and cut off his Thunder Hammer and just stick a Crozius on top, and again, no one's going to care. Okay, I mean, 3 units of Jump Assault Intercessors is good. 6 Blade Guard is good. There was the transport for the Blade Guard, not too bad. Ballistics are good. Outriders are good. I don't mind Terminators at all in Liberator Assault Group, especially with Power Fists. Scouts with Combat Knives, again, good in Liberator Assault Group. Sangre Guard +6. Not my favourite. They're going to need lethal hits a lot. They're going to need +1 to wound a lot. The reason that I think the one of the ways you could make Liberator Assault Group really strong, because basically the way Blood Angels play at the moment is every unit that makes a charge is probably going to want +1 to wound. So Chaplain with Blade Guard +1 to wound, cool, we're all good. The Captain in the Terminator armor, we swap him to the Chaplain, +1 to wound, then we're all good. And then Dante and his squad, they've got the Stratagem, Red Rampage. So basically, you can have all 3 of those units make a charge in one turn. They can all have +1 to wound. That is very, very strong. And that's literally how I won the tournament in the summer. Was like every unit that I had in my list had a +1 to wound character in it, except one, which was Dante's unit, and Dante used, guess what? The Stratagem for +1 to wound. Right, so just everything is +1 to wound and lethal hits all the time, and usually Dante's coming with Sangre Guard, so they can actually take the Battle Shock, because it doesn't really matter, because they still have the banner, so they still have OC, so even if they take the Battle Shock to get lethals and lance, they've still got objective control, right? So this is not too bad a list at all. I do question, like, our Repulsor Executioner is an interesting pick. It's got a lot of crap on it, doesn't it? It's got the Macro Plasma. If I was going to run Executioner, I'd probably run the laser version. Because I don't think the Plasma is nearly as good these days. It's like Strength 9, and the laser is like Strength 14. So the Macro Plasma is 9 -4, 3, D6 Hazardous Blast. I mean, it's not horrible, but the laser is 16 -4, D6 +4. It's actually the most damaging gun Space Marines get. Hello, Highland Phoenix. So I'd probably run the laser, but if you've got it, what all do you get on an Executioner these days? You get an Onslaught Cannon, you get Rocket Pods, you get Stubber, you get Defensive Array, you get Heavy Bolter, you get another Stubber, which is Twin-Linked. Ooh, Twin-Linked Stubber. That's some serious firepower. You do not want to mess with the Twin-Linked Stubber. I don't know why they didn't just give them bolters. Like, why did they need to be any different? Stubbers, bolters, they're all shit. Who cares? Why is it a different weapon? Like, this is too many weapons for one vehicle. You're going to forget every time you shoot what weapons it's got. And then you've got the Macro Plasma. Yeah, it's fine. 220 points. Most of the time, if I was putting 220 points into transport, I would actually probably just try and find the extra 20 points. Do you know what? You literally have, you change that to the Chaplain, you literally have the extra 20 points to make that Land Raider, and then your Blade Guard can charge after that thing is moved. Which is better, I think, than the Executioner's rule. What's the Executioner's rule again? I don't even remember its ability. Each time this model makes a target each time this model makes an attack that targets a unit below half strength, add 1 to the hit rolls. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think charging out the Land Raider is just much better, and you have a 2-up save. So yeah, the way you improve this list is very simple. You ditch the Executioner, you take a Land Raider, and you change out this Captain for a Chaplain. But overall, I mean, if these are the models that you have, this list is fine. There's nothing that we need to call out and say this is bad. Yeah, I think it's fine, right? I guess if it's a Land Raider, maybe you can fit something else inside with them, like, you know, or maybe when the Blade Guard come out, a unit of scouts can jump, assault intercessors can jump inside. Yeah, it's okay. I think that, yeah, Executioners, Land Raiders, they're not super competitive. They're not too bad though, right? Like, they can sometimes let you do things that you normally can't do. But yeah, that's it. Okay. I was gonna say, if you... Yeah, I think that would... I honestly think that would be the only... I think personally I'm trying to stay away from recommending double Vindicator tank. I know it's very meta, but it's also wildly unreliable, so I'm kind of staying away from recommending it in the moment. Krychek says he loves the Executioner, get the laser on it. Yeah, I think it would be better with the laser, right? I just found out the local big GT to me was down 50% attendance this year. That seems wild, says Reziel. Sometimes that happens towards the... Like, when you get into the last year of an edition, people sort of, like, lose a bit of excitement, and then the new edition comes and everyone gets super excited. I'm sure I saw that on my channel, Reziel, where it was like, I thought my channel was reaching its peak. You know, because I was like, oh, I'm only getting 100 subscribers a month or something. Like, I'm not really growing anymore. And then the new edition's announced, and it's like, boom, a month where it's like 1,000 new subscribers. And I was like, all right, it's just... People can't be excited about stuff 24/7, right? So, I know when a new edition comes out, I want to get to a tournament, like, right away, or want to play the new rules right away. So, possibly like that. It could also be sometimes the summer, right? Because, like, I've had really, really bad months in the summer before. Because, like, in the summer... people go outside. And then in winter, when there's nothing doing, people watch YouTube. Or people play Warhammer, you know? Alright, Gula is our next list. He is playing, is his first 2,000 point game against Chaos Demons or 1,000 Suns. Oh, welcome to 40k. Chaos Demons will be interesting. 1,000 Suns will be bonkers with their new rules, I guess. Alright, we've got the Blood Angels Captain. We've got the Blazing... Oh, you're playing Angelic Inheritor. Oh, alright, okay, geez. You're going... the first 2,000 point game, you're picking the hard-to-play detachment. I get you. Well, there's no such thing as a baptism of fire, is there? Blood Angels Captain, Captain of the Jump Pack, Chaplain in Terminator Armor with Troubling Visions. I don't know why people keep taking Troubling Visions. It is the... Yeah, it's the worst one. But I guess maybe you've got points left. That's you take Troubling Visions. You've got Dante and you've got the Sanguinar. Okay. So you've got Assault Intercessors on foot. I imagine they're with the Captain inside the Impulsor. I don't think that's all that strong a combination in Angelic Inheritors. It's a good combination in Liberator Assault Group because everyone's hitting at higher strength. In Angelic Inheritors, it's probably very average, right? You get like 8 Power Fist attacks, and then you're all on Chain Swords at Strength 4. You got 2 units of Jump Intercessors, you've got Ballistas, you've got Infiltrators, you've got a Land Raider, you've got 6 Sanguinary Guard, you've got 3 Sanguinary Guard, you've got a unit of Scouts, you've got a unit of Terminators. I don't own a lot of the meta vehicles, and I probably won't buy Firstborn. Terminators on the Chaplain and the Land Raider. Blood Angels Captain and Assault and the Impulsor. Dante with 6 Sanguinary Guard. Captain with 6 Sanguinary Guard. Your shooting is the Land Raider and a single Ballistas Dreadnought. Is that right? Yes. So, straight off the bat, like, you should not be playing Angelic Inheritors. You do not have enough. You do not nearly have enough firepower for Angelic Inheritors. If you want to be running Angelic Inheritors, if you are under like 700 points of shooting, you are not. You just shouldn't be playing Angelic Inheritors, right? Because like I played them in a tournament with like what would that have been, like 750 points of shooting, and it wasn't enough. Like it just isn't enough into some armies. Plasma Inceptors would have helped me loads. I just never managed to play Plasma Inceptors very well. I'm not good at using Plasma Inceptors. I'm not a Plasma Inceptor player. I'm generally don't use plasma guns all that often because of hazardous. Swap that list to Liberator Assault Group and it's great. Yeah, I mean it's much better in Liberator Assault Group. It's also much easier to play. And Liberator Assault Group can kind of get away with only 2 tanks because everything just hits a lot harder in melee. So I recommend probably taking 3 shooting units in Liberator Assault Group, but you couldn't probably do it at a push, right? Like I think some people try to do it as cheap as possible with like 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. I think that's probably like the bottom line minimum. Like I've seen some people do it with 2 Ballistus, and I don't think 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts is enough shooting for Blood Angels in the current meta. So the list would play better in Liberator Assault Group. Your Blood Angels Captain, Assault Intercessors, and the Impulsor are like way better. You could give that Captain Gift of Foresight, for example, so you can guarantee some dev wounds. Your Jump Intercessors are a lot better in that detachment. Your Sangry Guard are easier to play as well with Advance and Charge. If you're new to the game, playing 2,000 points, Advance and Charge is probably going to help you because you're probably going to mess up at some point and end up with like a long-range charge. Oh, Nellcross is in chat. Hello, Nellcross. I just saw your message. I hope I helped you. I got smoked by the Thousand Suns. Well, I literally said 2 minutes ago, Glocklula, you are going to struggle against the Thousand Suns. Yeah, this list you've built is much better in Liberator Assault Group. So you could literally just cycle out the 2 enhancements, play this in Liberator Assault Group, and it is much better. Especially like you're playing Thousand Suns as well. Angelic Inheritors doesn't have any strats that can protect you against mortal wounds. At least in Liberator Assault Group, you have that like Angelic Grace, I think it's called, where you can just pay 1 CP to get 5 up against their when they're spamming mortals at you. Sometimes that 5 up is going to be the difference between you losing a key unit like your Land Raider and not losing it. So yeah, I would just rotate and play Liberator Assault Group. If you have regular Terminators without the Thunderhammers, I would probably prefer you run some of them. Or if you've got some Terminators with Lightning Claws, I would also prefer you run some of them over the Thunderhammer guys. I think the Thunderhammer guys hitting on 4s makes them really, really weak. If James Gibb is in the chat, I want to talk to you, James Gibb, about Thunderhammer Terminators. Because I think, if you're there, let me know. What enhancements could you do? You could put Fight First on your Terminators, probably. That would probably be one of the biggest wins you've got there. So you keep the Terminators in reserve, you bring them in with Rapid Ingress, you have them with potential Fight First, you make a charge, Advance and Charge. This list doesn't get, you don't get the value out of this list in Angelic Inheritors, really, honestly. I feel like Angelic Inheritors is a weird attachment for new players because it's like, it is good, right? But it's only good if you can weaken a bunch of enemies first with shooting and then mop them up with all those small units. And when the small units inevitably die, it doesn't feel too bad because it's a small unit. But having I played Angelic Inheritors like 5 or 6 times before I got a single win with it. I guess that's coming off lag where I'm winning like most of the time, right? So Angelic Inheritors is not super friendly to new players and or experienced players, right? Like normally if I play a detachment and I lose my first 5 games, I'm like, fuck this detachment, I'm gonna go play someone else. Alright, Ferdandito next. He is playing Lamenters with Liberator Assault Group. Captain of the Jump Pack, Mephiston, Dante, Combi Weapon Lieutenant, and Sanguinar. I think that my... So I literally played this exact thing. The tournament that I played against had these, like, almost identical characters. I'm not playing... Like, my personal opinion is I am not playing Mephiston and Sanguinar in Liberator Assault Group, and I don't think anything will change my mind on that. I don't think they're good enough in that detachment, and I think they're too expensive. So that's my opinion. They're too easy to counter. I literally played against them. I can't even remember what the... Like, he must have arrived to Sanguinar. I think that's what it was. So I charged his Ballistus Dreadnought with 3 Sanguinary Guard and a Captain. I think the Sanguinar arrived from reserve and, like, killed 1 Sanguinary Guard. It didn't change anything. Like, I still did an absolute boatload of damage to his Ballistus. I still did a boatload of damage. I actually had my Captain actually was in engagement range, so he actually just hit the Sanguinar in the face, and I think he did 6 damage back to him. So I don't rate the Sanguinar at all in Liberator Assault Group, I'm afraid. He's good in Inheritors because you reroll 1s to hit and wound. But even then, you have to be really smart with the positioning that he comes in on and what he's going to fight against. If you're fighting against Knights, he's like very little value. Alright, Intercessor Squad. Jump Intercessors, Ballistus, a Reaper, which we really don't see all that often. Incursors, Sanguinary Guard, Scouts, and that's the whole list. So it'll be 6 Sanguinary Guard with the Jump Pack Captain, 6 Sanguinary Guard with Dante. I mean, you'd probably, like... I would lose Mephiston, or I would lose either the Sanguinar or Mephiston, give that Jump Pack Captain the fight first, and take, like, another unit of Jump Assault Intercessors, or take an Impulsor, or take a unit of Outriders, or something that can go out in the early game, and sit on objectives. I also don't really rate the Reaper for, like, 160 points. Here's the thing, right? Like, every unit that if you're playing Liberator Assault Group, what do Intercessors kill? They kill infantry. What do Jump Intercessors kill? They kill infantry. What do, like, the frag missiles that the Ballistas have? They kill infantry. What do Incursors do? They kill infantry. What do Sanguinary Guard do? They can kill infantry. What do Scouts do? They can kill infantry. So why have you got a tank that also kills infantry? When literally your entire list kills infantry. Like, if you're going to spend 160 points on a tank, I think it should be the Lancer to kill vehicles. Yeah, 100%, right? Like, 2 Ballistas and a Lancer is actually a pretty scary combo. That gives you, what, like 4 las cannons with rerolls, and then the Lancer has a bit of reroll shenanigans in there as well. So you can probably pop, like, an enemy tank every turn. You don't use Incursors to kill things. Yeah, you use them to mark things for the +1 to hit, sure, I guess, but, right, like, if they do eventually engage in close combat, right, Mike, they've got knives with sustained on them. Hold on. I don't think I've used Incursors in, like, 10th edition. I'm sure they have knives with sustained on them. Yes. So they kill infantry, right? Like, they don't kill fuck all else with strength 4, I'll tell you that right now. I mean, they chip the paint on, like, I don't even know what a toughness 8 enemy. Toughness 7 or 8 enemy. Toughness 7 or 8 armored enemy. Is there even something? Yeah, like a Gene Stealer Ridge Runner or something. They chip a wound off that. Cool. Oh, and then they detonate their mines to do 2 other wounds. But I guess my point is, like, the Reaper isn't needed here. Like, this Reaper should be a Lancer. Hopefully you magnetized it and you can just pull off the turret and swap it around for the Lancer. But yeah, I really don't think that you need the 3 lone up. It's just too many points, right? Like, the Sanguinar and Mephiston and Dante together is just too many points. And, like, I literally played against Liberator Assault Group at this tournament. The Sanguinar killed 1 Sanguinary Guard. I think Mephiston killed 1 or 2 Sanguinary Guard. So, you know, like these you know, super expensive fight first units that are supposed to be big, huge threats barely killed half their points value, and they didn't threaten me in any meaning. Like, they didn't kill it, you know, they killed half their points value. That was it. And I just wiped them. Just killed them very easily. They, you know. Yeah. I'm not using them. And they are arguably better when you can reroll ones to hit and ones to wound as well. I also think playing 12 Sangre Guard, like, I think playing Sangre Guard in big squads of 6 is very difficult. Like, this was also in the Liberator Assault group list that I beat. Because it's very easy to overkill things with 6 and then be left standing in the open. And if you're left standing in the open, do you know what likes you? Is double Vindicator tank that every other fucking Space Marine list is running. And double Vindicator tank will literally destroy an entire unit of Sangre Guard, and maybe even the character as well. Like, it's gross. Like, it's absolutely gross. My opponent actually had 6 Sangre Guard with fight first. And what did I do? I just took a Vindicator tank in from reserve and blew them off the table. Like, it wasn't even, like, there's no skill in it. Like, that's probably part of the reason that I'm disillusioned. It's like, I have a Vindicator tank, put it on, Oath of Moment, sustained hits, blast. Okay, take like fucking 12 AP3 saves. Oh, you failed half of them. That's your 400 point Sangre Guard unit wiped. Oh, that, you know, like, that's it. It's simple as that. They're just wiped. It's funny how many elite armies have to play these blast when horde armies generally don't care as much. Oh, I think some horde armies care. If you're playing against Forge Fiends, they certainly care. But yeah, you know, Forge Fiends is a good example, right? Like, if a Forge Fiend can see your Sangre Guard within 18 inches, like, he's probably just lifting up the entire squad. Like, either Forge Fiends are ridiculously, like, I don't know. Sangre Guard got given 3 wounds. It feels like everything in the meta at the moment does 3 damage. Flat 3, flat 3, flat 3. Other armies do it in melee. Other armies do it in shooting. I think Sangre Guard are super difficult to play at the moment. I guess that's probably why lots of people are putting Blade Guard in vehicles. And that's, I guess, why lots of people are taking, like, cheap jump intercessors and stuff like that. Because I feel like last edition, they couldn't figure out how to balance Sangre Guard. Remember that? It was like Sangre Guard are either too cheap, so everyone took 30 of them, or they were too expensive, so nobody took any of them. So I think they tried to do like, all right, well, what if we change it up so they only have 18 of them? Then we won't get this massive swing from everybody taking 30 to everybody taking 0. It'll only be 0 to 18. But I think we're going to have the same thing, right? Because I don't think they'll change any of the rules for Sangre Guard, right? Like, I don't think they're going to change any of the rules. Like, you compare them to the Death Guard Terminators, those new Terminators that came out, and they're bonkers, right? Like, the Death Guard Terminators, they've got, like, 1 more on the weapon skill, 3 more on the toughness, they've got an extra wound, they've got lethal hits, they've got 2 extra strength. I'm sure they've got some, I think they've got, like, they make you take OC checks, like, what are they called? The Death Shroud Terminators? Like, for 10 points more. Oh, they've got guaranteed 6-inch charges from Deep Strike, you know. So I don't think they'll change any of the Sangre Guard rules. They'll just have to drop the points. So they'll drop them like 5 points and it won't really make any difference. People still just take them and they're still very weak. I don't get why they hit on 3s in melee. Yeah, I mean, like, why are Death Shroud Terminators hitting on 2s in melee and Sangre Guard are hitting on 3s? Yeah, it's a good question, right? They get the same number of attacks. Death Shroud get more strength. They get lethal hits. They're always fighting enemies who are in Contagion as well. So the enemies are, you know, more strength, lethal hits, and the enemies are lower toughness as well. It's bonkers. And yeah, and then the fact that they gave Death Shroud Terminators a guaranteed 6-inch charge, right? Like, guaranteed 6-inch charge Death Shroud Terminators. And here's the thing, if you have a reroll, so if you have 1 CP, that is a 90% charge chance. 9-0. So you know, so if you go to GT and you play 5 games, there is a real chance that, and you've got 2 units of Death Shroud, and you do that in turn 2 and 3, rapid ingress, every game, you will pass 9 out of 10 of those charges. That's bonkers, dude. Especially with like the damage that those Death Shroud Terminators do now. But yeah, so I think playing 6 Sangre Guard is pretty hard. This is sort of a standard Liberator Assault Group list. Ferdandito, I guess, watch the video I'm making on Liberator Assault Group this week. Because I'm literally doing Angelic Inheritors versus Liberator Assault Group. I beat them like, I think it was like 79 to 45 or something. And I had a horrific first turn. Like my first turn, I was just a disaster. So I'm a bit 79 to 47. Angelic Inheritors versus Liberator Assault Group. And in my first turn, I scored no points and did no secondaries. His first turn, he scored 5. His second turn, he scored 18. My second turn, I scored 9. So he was... going into turn 3, he was winning the game. Like, if we add on painting points, he was winning 33 to 19. The start of turn 3, and it was his turn to go. So he's 14 points ahead of me, and, you know... Everything just dies. It's just a shitload of toughness 4 stuff. It just dies. Sanguinar Mephi and the Combi Weapon Lieutenant is 345 points. Yeah, I think you just... You definitely don't take all 3 in Liberator Assault Group. I think you take 1. In Angelic Inheritors, you can probably take 2. Combi Weapon Lieutenant and Mephiston or the Sanguinar. I think the Sanguinar is probably the better pick because he gives you more shenanigans. And also he is a bit more reliable because Mephiston quite often fails on his damage rolls and stuff like that, right? Casper is up next. Hi Commander, I have a little problem with the last 135 points on this list to patch up the hole. I picked Eradicators and Speed of the Primarch for the Chaplain. I wonder if it will still work. Here's my current list. Alright, Liberator Assault Group list. Mephiston, Dante, Jump Captain, and a Chaplain with Speed of the Primarch. This is okay for Liberator Assault Group list. Keeping it probably just 160. Probably keeping it just over 400 points. That's probably okay. Assault Intercessor with Jump Back, 6 Blade Guard and an Impulsor, Eradicators on foot, maybe, I guess. Infiltrators, 6 Sangre Guard with Dante, 3 Sangre Guard with the Jump Back Captain, the Scouts, the Outriders, the Ballistas, the Gladiator, the Vindicator, the Impulsor. So this is pretty standard. You know, this is actually not a million miles from the tournament list that I had in the summer, because I had Infiltrators, I had 6 Sangard with Dante, I had 3 with a Captain, I had a unit of Scouts, I had a unit of Outriders, I had a Ballistas Dreadnought, I had a Vindicator tank, I actually had a Predator instead of the Lancer, and I had an Impulsor. I had the 6 Blade Guard. Did I have Jump Intercessors? I feel like I must... Yeah, I'm sure I had Jump Intercessors. Do you know what? This is super similar to my tournament list that I had at the start of the year. I didn't have Mephiston, I didn't have Eradicators. I think I had another Impulsor and I had a unit of Company Heroes with a Captain. So that's probably the only difference. A unit of Company Heroes plus a Captain plus an Impulsor. Yeah, it's probably some similar cost to Mephiston. Yeah, I mean, I think this list is fine. What you said? I have a little problem with the last 135 points to patch up the hole. Well, I mean, double Impulsor is good. So if you don't think Mephiston, like, I think you're. If Mephiston and Eradicators don't work for you, then there is a very real option of like the Captain, a unit of Assault Intercessors on foot, and an Impulsor, right? Because that Impulsor is 80, Assault Intercessors on foot I think are 75, another Captain is 80. Yeah, which is literally your Eradicators plus the Mephiston, right? I would rather have the captain, the assault intercessors, because do you know what? I actually remember this. I had Mephiston in my list, so I don't know what I'd spent this 100 points on, but I had Mephiston in my list, and the way I looked at it was like, all right, what does Mephiston actually do for me? He charges in, he advances and charges in, and he kills maybe like 1 or 2 guys, right? Because Mephiston's damage rolls always end up meaning that you only kill 1 or 2 guys, right? You just can't rely on it. I can't remember the last time anyone ever said for Mephiston's damage, I rolled a 6, a 6, a 6, a 6, a 6, and a 5. You know, like nobody fucking says that ever. Whereas like with that captain, that once per game you can go devastating wounds and 3 extra attacks. So suddenly that captain's got like 9 attacks, hitting on 2s, probably re-rolling 1s, probably re-rolling wounds as well because the assault intercessor is attached. Yeah, he can roll 4 or 5 6s. Like lots of people have seen that happen. And it's like, all right, so that captain does 10 mortal wounds or 10 devastating wounds. Devastating wounds are sort of mortal wounds. You know what I'm trying to say. And then you've got 20 odd other attacks coming in from the assault intercessors and then some power fists as well. And in my brain, I was like, what's better for me in my list? Mephiston with his lone op shenanigans or an impulsor that I move up and sit on an objective and I hold that objective and I hold it obscured probably with the impulsor. If they kill the impulsor, then everyone spills out into the objective. Hopefully they battle shock in my turn and it's still my objective. And if they don't, then I'll just charge out the impulsor and do a crap load of damage. And that's where I settled on. So I think this list would very quickly be beneficial. Like, get rid of the Eradicators. You got a Ballistus, a Lancer, and a Vindicator. That is good enough fire support for Liberator Assault Group. Another Impulsor would be good. And I actually think running 2 Impulsors in Liberator Assault Group is very good. Because in turn 1, you can just drive your impulsors onto 2 no man's land objectives and be like, right, that's my turn. Right? Like, I'm just going to hide everything else behind the walls, put the 2 impulsors out on the objectives, because they're going to be able to see something, right? You can't hide everything all the time. So it's like, I was playing a game in the tournament against Orcs, just put an impulsor on both objectives and went, right, it's your turn. You know, like, what are you going to do? The Orcs only really are active in one phase, right? They can kill my impulsor in melee, cool. Then my guys will spill out, and on my turn, I'll shoot the Orcs, and I'll charge the Orcs, and I'll mop them all up. So I think in like turn 1, literally all I did was like touch 2 objectives with the impulsors. It's just like, it's your turn. So yeah, I think that would improve this. I think that's where I would make the changes. 9 Sanguinary Guard in a list is kind of probably as competitive as it's going to get. I don't personally. So going to that event last weekend, I was playing against an opponent who had 15 Sanguinary Guard. And I was worried about that because I only have 9. I know Sanguinary Guard are like our most damaging unit. But I sort of had it in my brain that was like, so he's running 15 Sanguinary Guard. If I can shoot his Sanguinary Guard, then he has big problems, right? Like, I don't want to be meleeing his Sanguinary Guard, but if I can shoot them, he has big problems. And that's exactly what happened, right? Like, and I never actually ended up having to fall back, but there was a very real chance that I'd had it in my head before that tournament that was like, if I'm in combat with them in the Sanguinary Guard, I won't care. Even if I have to desperate escape, I will just fall back because I can shoot them off the table much easier than I can melee them off the table, right? The Fight First Chaplain and Blade Guard are a great combo, says Adam. Yeah, I think the +1 to wound with Fight First Chaplain all the time is very good. I thought Mephiston likes to be a lone operative. He does, but I feel like at some point you need him to do something. And I feel like my captain plus the assault intercessors for the same cost, in my list anyway, when I was playing it, always felt like they were more valuable than Mephiston doing his lone operative stuff. I usually have most Blood Angels players usually have scouts. We usually have jump pack intercessors. A bunch of people are using that combi weapon lieutenant. If you're doing all those things, then do you need Mephiston? Like, would you not just be better with another unit that does more damage? Okay. I lost at the bottom of the turn and have no way to kill Creed with the movement order and advance to the middle. Yeah, I mean, when Ball Predators were a little bit cheaper, more people were using Ball Predators. They were pretty useful for Overwatch. Alright, Bloodhound. Oh, the Bloodhound Fang. That's kind of a funny name. Actually, it's so random. I listened to a Bloodhound Gang song for the first time in years this week. One Fierce Beer Coaster. Does anyone remember that album? Anyway, The Hero, or CT Hero. Liberator Assault Group is again. We've got a Blood Angels Captain with Rage Fueled. I don't like Rage Fueled now. It's worth 35 points, but that's my personal opinion. Speed of the Primarch, Dante Sanguiner. So a little bit better in terms of characters. Assault Intercessors. I don't think that you need this many Intercessors, but I guess if you like battle line units, sure. Double Impulsor. Jump Intercessors, 3 Blade Guard, Double Lancer, Outriders, 1 Sanguinary Guard, Scouts. Okay, so Double Lancer, small units of Blade Guard, some units of Assault Intercessors, the Rage Captain. I don't think this is an overly competitive list. But it does do 2, like 2 Scouts, 2 Outriders, 2 Intercessors, 2 Blade Guard. There's something to be said about the rule of 2, but I'm not entirely sure. I think against Elite Infantry, this list is going to struggle. Because the only big squad you've got is that squad of Sanguinary Guard, and your Speed of the Primarch Chaplain would be much better attached to a 6 Blade Guard rather than a 3. In my opinion. I don't think it's worth spending 25 points for 3 guys to fight first. 6 Bolter Inceptors or 1 Reaper with Oath is crazy on Overwatch. Yeah, the problem with that is you have to oath the target that you're going to be overwatching, which is, in practice, very difficult to do, Daniel, right? Like, the amount of times that, yeah, sure, I would like to have my oath on that Overwatch target, but it's just on something I needed to kill the previous turn or something, right? Okay, Blade Guard with the Chaplain and the Impulsor, Assault Intercessors with the Captain and the Impulsor, Dante with the Sanguinary Guard, debating on whether or not the Sanguiner is necessary, and if not, what other options could I use to run if needed. I'd probably add another tank, and I might lose the Sanguiner. If the Captain with Jump Pack and all the other Blood Angels Epic Heroes at my disposal, don't know if I should add another Jump Squad, or how to apply Company Heroes, or if it would be either worth doing that, if I need to make room for them. Relative new Blood Angel player. Watch all your videos while I was living in Japan. Need constructive criticism to really make this list the best I can be. Okay, let's get the pressure on. How do we make this the best list it can be? If it was me, I would. Let me just pull it apart. If I was building this for myself right now, I lose Rage Fueled Warrior. It's not worth 35 points. It's 35 points and it sometimes does nothing. Fuck that. I would just get rid of the Sang. So that saves me 35. Let me write a total of what I've saved somewhere on the screen so that I know where I'm at. So I'd just save 35 points there. I'd also ditch the Sanguiner. I like him in Angelic Inheritors. I don't like him in Liberator Assault Group. He's not meaningful enough. Not 140 points anyway. I'd also lose one of these squads of Intercessors. It's fine to have one squad that you're sticky objective with, but like you don't need 2. Like I don't even know what you're doing with the other squad of Intercessors. You're shooting some bolt rifles. I mean, you should definitely lose the close combat weapon on the Sergeant and take a Power Fist, right? Like there's no reason to not take the Power Fist. I mean, you can even take a Thunder Hammer if you want to fish for dev wounds, but I'd probably take the Power Fist. I think you have to put the Blade Guard together. Like, you need to be leading the Blade Guard. So let's just change one of these Blade Guard from the 3 to the 6, right? Like, this is just now a 6 Blade Guard. Let's take off 80 points. You want to be leading Blade Guard with the 6. You've got 2 Lancers. That's kind of fine. You've got 2 Outriders. That's kind of fine. You get 6 with Dante. I don't know, like, if we've added the Combi Weapon Lieutenant here. I didn't write that down, but we did add him. Add LT, 70 points. Did we add him? Oh, fuck. Did we add him? No, I don't think we added him. So, minus 70. So we've got 105 points left. I honestly think I'd probably lose another unit of Scouts. I don't think I need them. Yeah, do you know what? If I lose a unit of Scouts... so we go back to 170. I'd probably just add 10 Jump Assault Intercessors. Right? 160. Because you can put them in reserve. They can do a crap load of impact mortals. You don't care if they all die. They're super cheap. Sorry, minus 160 twice. And then you've got 15 points left. Hell, give the captain the Gift of Foresight. That costs 15 points, so it zeroes it out. He's going to get devastating wounds at some point. You're now going to guarantee that some of those sixes you can just flip it. You can just flip it and guarantee devastating wounds, right? You still got double impulsor. You've now got 9 blade guard. You've still got the double lancer. You've still got double outriders. You've got scouts for scoring. You've got 6 with Dante. You've got, sure, your captain's not quite reliable. Sure, you don't have the Sanguinar, but you have the lone up lieutenants. You've got rerolls of 1 on a key objective as well. And then you've got 10, you've got 10 jump intercessors that just can come in and are very good for 160 points in Liberator Assault Group, especially if you give them +1 to wound, especially if you can finish a lot of them in engagement range and or throw grenades, right? But yeah, you're not a million miles away, but hopefully that helps you. That's where I would take that list in that direction. Okay. Adam says, I've been a fan of using a repulsor to get Blade Guard up the board after disembarking, have Dante and 6 Sanguinary Guard punch up the board and get in, then move the repulsor. Yeah, I mean, it's not the worst idea. I like the fact that the transport helps keep the Sanguinary... Like, Sanguinary Guard have no survivability in shooting, right? Let's just put that out there. Like, I think they have no survivability in shooting. Because they're toughness 4, which means fucking everything wounds them are 2s or 3s. And then very quickly they're on their invuln save. And when you need to pass invuln saves with Sanguinary Guard, like the opponent will be like, take three invuln saves. You fail all 3 and you just lost the entire unit. You don't have to fail a lot of saves to lose an entire unit of Sanguinary Guard. It was different when you could have 10 of them in a squad. Now you have like much smaller squads. So yeah, I kind of agree. Like at the tournament I was just at, I started every game with Dante and 3 Sanguinary Guard inside a Land Raider, right? And the reason I did that was because I was in the run up to the tournament, I played against the new Death Guard, and their PBCs are disgusting into Sanguinary Guard. Like Sanguinary Guard just get deleted by Plagueburst Crawlers now. Like it's horrific. And like if you're playing against a Death Guard opponent that has 3 PBCs, you pretty much can't start any Sanguinary Guard on the board. Like if you start any of them on the table, you're going to have a very bad day. So I totally understand why putting the Sanguinary Guard in a transport is it's like a compensation for the fact that they're toughness 4, and like I said, they've got no survivability. Okay, Zane Nelson next. Is this a crazy list? Chaplain with a jump pack with 10 jump intercessors, Dante, a Judasar with Blade Guard, Lamartas with a Death Company. We don't see Lamartas very often these days. And then a Tech Marine with an Astraeus. Okay, cool. I haven't seen the Astraeus in a hot minute, so we'll have to look at its profile. So we've got an Impulsor, 10 jump intercessors, 5 jump intercessors, an Astraeus. Alright, it's got... I'm going to look at its profile. I've actually ran an Astraeus in a tournament before, but I'm just going to quickly look at its weapons, because I think that was 9th edition. I haven't run it in 10th. So it's got 5 up in Van, toughness 12, 2 up, 24 wounds. It has... Where is it? 2 Astraeus Las Rippers, a Stubber, a Stormbolter, a Twin Heavy Bolter, and then the Twin Macro Accelerator Cannon. So the Macro Accelerator Cannon used to be 12 shots. It's a lot worse, I think, than it used to be. Sustain 12... 9 -1, 3, twin linked. So the AP on it kind of sucks. If it had 2 AP, I think it would be good. And then the Las Ripper is okay. It's just got 4 Las. It's basically 4 Las cannons because it's got 2 of them. So it's got 4 Las cannons and then like a bit of a crazy auto cannon, but really lacking AP. What's its special abilities? In your shooting phase after this model is select 1 unit hit by 1 or more attacks with the Macro Accelerator Cannon until the start of the next phase. It's suppressed. Alright, so you suppress units with the Accelerator Cannon. I guess it's not the worst thing. 525 points. Toughness 12, 24 wounds. It used to have void shields. I guess they are gone now. For 525 points, I don't know if I feel like that's massively survivable, right? Like, I'll have a Vindicator tank blow that. Like, a Vindicator tank can one-shot that with a little bit of luck. Alright, Blade Guard with Impulsor with a Judasar, 10 Death Company with Lamartas, 6 Sanguinary Guard with Dante. So he asked at the start, is this list crazy? Yes, it's crazy, because you've got no units for activations. And what I mean by that is, like, your Chaplain with the 10 Jump Intercessors, that's 260 points, that unit. Your Commander Dante with a Sanguinary Guard, that's 390 points. Your Blade Guard with the Impulsor, whatever, that's 300 points again. The Death Company with Lamartas, that's 350 points. And then the Tech Marine with the Strayus is like 600 points. So you've got 2 things that can do actions in this list. The Impulsor and the Tech Marine. And that's it. You've got nothing else that can do actions. You've got nothing in Strategic Reserve. You've got nothing you can redeploy. Have you got anything you can redeploy? No, I don't think you've got anything you can redeploy. So yeah, sure, you might kill some stuff with your 3 death balls of Sanguinary Guard, Death Company, and Blade Guard, and you might kill some things with your big giant tank. Realistically, though, for 525 points, that is not that much firepower, right? Like, I could take 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts, and I feel like they do more firepower than this. Because 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts gives me 6 las cannons with a bunch of rerolls to hit, and 6 crack missiles with a bunch of rerolls to hit. And I think that's better, and it's over 100 points less. So I think there's probably a reason we don't see the Strayus anymore. Like, it used to be good, and I think now it's not. Someone's saying it's 2 Predators. Yeah, I mean, literally, it is 2 Predator tanks. So you could take 3 Predator tanks, and you've got more las cannons, you've got more hunter-killer missiles, you've got more autocannon shots. The reason that you used to be able to take these big tanks was the Tech Marine giving them +1 to hit when they had a bat shit number of shots was insane, right? Like, I had a tank last edition that was just bonkers with the number of shots it had. But yeah, we just don't have that now. So I think this list is crazy. I think it would. I just don't think you need to rip this whole list apart to make it competitive. I think don't take this Strayus. It's just not good anymore. Let me compare it to the tank that I used to run, the super heavy tank, the big giant one that's in the display case behind me, the biggest tank that I own. That costs like whatever. Where is it? I think when I bought it was just under 200. It was called the Super Heavy Falchion Tank Destroyer. That was it. So I think when I bought it was just under 200. Where's the Forge World? Forge World. You can still buy this thing, right? Oh wow, someone's selling one for £600. Hey, mine's painted better than that. This one's all grubby. When I was playing this, it was an absolute monster. I played this on stream like 20 times. It won like every single game. So it was 26 wounds, 2 up save. You put the Tech Marine next to it so it hit on 2s. This model is equipped with 2 quad las cannons. So it started off with 8 las cannons if you just wanted the quad las cannons. But you didn't do that. You took the laser destroyers. So you replaced the 2 quad las cannons with 2 laser destroyers. So it's got 2 laser destroyers. That was heavy 3, strength 10, AP 4, D6, D3 plus 3, which was bonkers good last edition, right? Because for example, this thing was only T8 last edition. It would be T12 or 13 now. And then it also had a twin heavy bolter, and then it also had the Twin Falchion Volcano Cannon, which was heavy 2d3 blast, strength 14, AP 5, flat 6. So like this thing with the laser destroyers, so it's six laser destroyers and like up to 6 shots from this, and you could reroll wounds. I think maybe this had even better rules at one point, but I remember this tank could do over 100 damage in a shooting phase. I can't remember how, but it definitely could. Maybe it's because it had a multi-melta as well. But yeah, I just don't think you see, like, the stress is just really bad now. Like, I just avoid it. The Falchion sells for £600 on eBay. Wow. The stress has to go ACP. It's pretty much the worst tank relative to points the Space Marines have, says Vintage Flanker. Yeah, I think you're right. Brandon says, thank you, John. I appreciate all the hard work you do with us. Brandon, thanks so much. I appreciate you guys watching every week. I always say there wouldn't be a show if you guys didn't turn up every week. Because at the start, when the channel was small, I think one time I did the entire Sunday show, to 0 viewers. I remember that. So I appreciate you guys turning up every week. Alright, let's look at this last list tonight. This must be like list number 10 for tonight. I'm not even going to try and say his name. We're going to call him Science, because I can read that bit. I'm trying to incorporate what I learned from the video. I would love input. Alright, Mephisto and Dante, a Blood Angels Rageful Captain, a Chaplain, the Lieutenant with the Combi Weapon, 5 Assault Intercessors, 5 Jump Bag Intercessors, 5 Jump Bag Intercessors, 6 Blade Guard, 5 Infiltrators, 6 Sanguinary Guard Scouts, double Outrider, double Impulsor, a Ballistus, and a Lancer. This is not too bad at all, right? You could probably swap out Mephiston for another tank. So Blade Guard plus the fight. Yeah, that's what I would probably do. Like, if this was me, I'd probably lose Mephiston and the Rage Fueled Warrior. Because together that gives me like 170 points, which I think is a lot of points to have in a character that... And yeah, I mean, like you could add a third squad of Jump Intercessors. Jump Intercessors are very good. You could add 6 more Blade Guard, very good. We could add another Ballistus Dreadnought, or a Predator Destructor, or a Lancer. All very useful. Hey Phil, thank you so much for the gifted subs, dude. I think that's twice this month, Phil. You're very generous. Thank you so much. I have awoken. Look at all two Death Guard players got gifted subs. God damn it. Disgustingly resilient and private name. That's Colin from my live stream. By the way, I'm playing GSC on Wednesday night. So you want me to play the Dreads, do you? Yeah, I think on Wednesday night I'm playing at least 3 Dreadnoughts. I think I'm playing 2 Repulsors and a Brutalis. I think that's what's happening. And I've got my I just fixed my Storm Raven, so he's got his flight stand back. So I think the Brutalis Dreadnought is going in the Storm Raven. I've never done that yet, but I think that's what we're doing. Don't play the Dreads. I mean, it'll be fine. Play Toughness 4 stuff. It'll be fine, Miles. You always beat me anyway. Yeah, do you know what? Like, since you're here, Miles, why did people were asking last night, because I'm doing a video this week again about the game I played against Callum, who was playing Liberator Assault Group. Why did Callum's Liberator Assault Group list beat your GSC? Was it I imagine the Redeemer was quite good against you, and then was it like all the Sanguinary Guard good against you? Yeah, Disgustingly Resilient usually comes in on the battle reports on Wednesday nights. Yeah, I think this list's okay. I like double Jump Intercessors, I like double Outriders, I like double Impulsor. I think all those things are very, very good in Liberator Assault Group. I think Scouts are super useful. I think Infiltrators are super good. I like the Captain with Assault Intercessors in the Impulsor. I like the Blade Guard with Fight First and the Chaplain. I literally ran both those things in the last tournament it was at. I think Lone Up Lieutenant is good. I think Dante plus 6 Sanguinary Guard. it's a very expensive unit. I think you've got to strategic reserve it, and you've got to play it really, really well. It's hard to play, but I think you can do it. I bled points on Purge, and it came down to a turn 5 swing. All right, because you've got Gene Stealer cults, and you've got lots of little units. So he's killing lots of little units. And that Blood Angels list actually didn't have that many units, because he's got, like... He's invested, like, 700 points on Sangre Guard, right? So, like, he actually doesn't have that many unique units, I guess. That makes sense. So you lost because it was Purge the Foe. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's still good to see that Liberator Assault Group came back. Plus, fight first on everything, to be honest. Meant I couldn't charge. Yeah, so he had 3 fight first in that list. He had the fight first on the 6-man unit of Sangre Guard. He had fight first on the Sanguinor. He had fight first on Mephiston, because he had all 3. Yeah, well, see, when I played him, I just fucking dropped the Vindicator tank with reserve and then just blew his fight first units away. I didn't feel very skillful doing it, but I mean, my goodness, it's effective, right? Blood Angels don't really like Vindicator tanks shooting at them. They just tend to melt, I guess. Yeah, so that's the change I would make here. I'd get rid of Mephiston, and I would get rid of Ragefield Warrior, and I'd add another unit. Jump Intercessors, 6 Blade Guard, 10 Jump Intercessors, 6 Blade Guard, or another tank. I think that would be absolutely fine. Another Lancer, probably. But that's it. That is our show for this Sunday night, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Phil, you're a legend for the 5 gifted super chats. I do appreciate that so much. Alex as well came in earlier with a super chat. It really does help me out. I do really appreciate it. Thank you for that. The Sanguiner did nothing. Mephiston died relatively easy. Yeah, that's kind of what happened when I played him. The Sanguiner did nothing. Or, like, he killed 1 model. And I think Mephiston killed 2 models. And I was like, that just doesn't feel like it's worth 270 points. I like Mephiston. I've got my Primaris Mephiston painted. I like him. I like his model. I like him for his rules throughout the years, but I don't like him in 10th edition. And I like the Sanguiner. I like his new model. I guess if you can roll 6s all the time on the wound rolls, he's pretty good, but like the amount of times you don't roll 6s means that he's pretty average. So yeah, I don't really like either of them. I did have the Sanguiner. I did actually try the Sanguiner and Mephiston in my Angelic Inheritors list on the months running up to the tournament. But I just felt like I didn't get enough value out of them week over week to keep them in the lists. So, yeah, if you want your list on next week's show, please consider putting it in the comments. Send it to me on Discord. Patreon will get you on the show. Remember, channel members get a bit of priority. Guys, I hope you have a great week. Wednesday night, me against Miles. Miles is playing Gene Stealer Cults. I'm pretty sure I'm playing Stormlance Detachment. And I'm going to run 3 Redemptors and a Storm Raven. Just for a change, because I don't know what detachment I'm doing next. I actually have a poll out on my channel. Yeah. I put the poll out earlier. I think people really want me to play Plasma Inceptors. I just hate playing plasma guns. I'm not very good with plasma guns. 37% of people want me to see Angelic Inheritors with plasmas. I really don't want to play Angelic Inheritors anymore because I feel like it's carried by Vindicator tanks. Liberator Assault Group focused on no Blood Angels units. I thought that would be higher actually, because that's what's probably going to win the most tournaments. But then, do you know what? Mephiston plus 6 Dreads and Iron Storm is also very high. It's actually the highest. Wow. And no one wants to see Roboto Gilliman on the table except 5% of people. How many people is that? 15 people. Alright, well, you 15 are going to be happy because Roboto Gilliman has come out of retirement today. I'm going to make 5% of the people happy on Wednesday night. But yeah, I'm committed. Wednesday night is going to be Roboto Gilliman. Maybe after that, it sounds like we've got to play some Iron Storm. How many Dreadnoughts do I actually have? It's a real bummer we can't run Firstborn Dreadnoughts anymore. The only way we can run Firstborn Dreadnoughts now is like the 135 point Dreadnought in the Space Marine Codex that is absolute garbage, right? Yeah. It's a real bummer we can't run any of the Blood Angels Dreadnoughts. Plus, I don't really want to build another Ballistus Dreadnought because the last one took me like 5 hours, but I guess we'll try Mephiston plus 6 dreads. Maybe that'll be next week. Alright guys, have a nice evening. We'll see you Wednesday night for a bit of a random battle report. Plus, I've never had Genestealer cults on the channel, so that'll be fun. So hopefully see some of you guys Wednesday. The Liberator Assault Group versus Angelic Inheritors video will be out this week. And then maybe there'll be another video out this week, because I don't know if that's enough for a tactics video on Friday. Like, maybe that'll just be out some random night. We'll see. We'll see. Alright, enjoy your evening. I'll see you Wednesday night. Thanks ever so much for watching. Peace.